Welcome to the Regular Joe's podcast. I'm Dave Pisani.
I'm Barry Kay.
And I'm Todd Pleasant.
We got a fun show for you guys today. We've been doing a lot of interviews, and we have another really cool one. So we have a guy by the name of Alex Arnold on. You may know him if you're into Indiana Jones. He's known as the Indie Guy on Instagram and his Facebook. He's Alex Arnold, but he is thoroughly into Indiana Jones. He's collects. He's been to premieres and all kinds of cool stuff. He's into it. He posts every single day. He's got a real positive outlook on stuff. I've known him for a little while. I followed him on Facebook. I did a little project with him. I made a plaque for him for one of his things. But he's just a really good guy, and he's fun to talk to. So we'll jump to us talking to him in a few minutes. But again, as with a busy show, we have to mention our favorite guys, Fanboy Collectibles. This week, Hot Toys K2SO is in stock. So
one from Andor, slightly different version than the one from Rogue One.
Yeah, but that's cool.
Yeah.
But they got statues. Don't discount statues. We say that every time. Pops and Sideshow and Hot Toys and Hasbro and everything you need. They've got everything you need. We're in the sort of after the holidays. You need a pick me up. You need to go buy yourself something.
That's right.
I know we do.
A little
nothing makes you happier
right now is not a bad thing.
Yeah, nothing makes you happier than a 1/6 scale figure or a Funko Pop of your favorite character.
Yeah,
exactly. So check those guys out, fanboycollectibles.com. Check them out at their store in Newtown, Connecticut, and tell them the Regular Joe sent you.
And you mentioned from Dave's workshop that you did a little project with Alex, but for anybody out there that needs a way to display a collectible or wants to put a plaque with one of their collectibles or needs a stand for something or whatever you need in your collecting
any kind of
displays, reach out to From Dave's Workshop.
FromDavesWorkshop.com. You can email me FromDavesWorkshop@gmail.com. Tell me the Regular Joe sent you. Yeah, that's cool. So, two things. We're all this housekeeping. We're on YouTube, so like and subscribe on YouTube. We're posting a lot of shorts there now, and they've been getting a lot of views. People tend to like short things than long things, but we have our fans who love to watch our full episodes, but the shorts are getting thousands and thousands of views, so we appreciate that. So keep watching. So there's shorts on, and the whole show is on YouTube, so check all that out. And don't forget the Land the Shuttle at Ticonderoga Kickstarter that is still going on. It's as we record this, it's funded, but there's some really cool stretch goals, so check those out. There's a lot of stuff that they're getting with the different pledge levels. There's T-shirts and hats and
really cool merch, and you're supporting a great cause. And I'm so happy that they made their primary goal, but definitely there's some stretch goals. And I think the primary goal was just to get the building put up around the shuttle, and these stretch goals are going to help make it an even better sort of permanent home for the shuttle. So
yeah, a lot of cool stuff. So you can go to Kickstarter and just look up Galileo. You'll find it there. But and there's events going on in September. We're all going to be there, so we're going to make some special stuff, at least for ourselves. But maybe if we know you're there, maybe we'll bring you one too. But you'll hear about that later. So make sure to check that out. We interviewed Alex just before, but you're going to see it now. He's a good dude, very passionate, and we appreciate that. So here is Alex Arnold. We are here with Alex Arnold, the indie guy. If you don't know him, you'll know him soon. But he is into all things Indiana Jones. And as you know from us, we are into Indiana Jones as much as a million other things. But I've been following Alex for a number of years, and we just did a little project together, so we sort of actually communicated, and I'm like, you got to come on the show because your passion is intense, and we love that.
Absolutely.
And it's rare that because we're into so many things, it's rare that we get to talk to somebody who's really very hyper focused. And I know we were saying off the air that you are into other things, and we'll get into all that, but you are primarily sort of known for your passion for Indiana Jones, right?
Yes, absolutely. Like you said, like we'll talk about it later, but Indiana Jones has been my favorite thing of all time since the first time I saw the movie when I was 5 years old. And then, I grew up and I ran into some adult money.
That's how it works.
And
That's how it works.
I started collecting when my mom actually brought out the DVD resin case from Blockbuster, and she had it stored away for years, and she found it in her in one of her closets, and she's like, "Here, there you go." And then all of a sudden, something just clicked. It ignited that passion of mine again. And like I said, I've always loved Indiana Jones, but then I got to the point where it's like I could actually afford to do this collecting thing, and that one little item sparked everything you see back here.
Nice.
So, Alex, that collector case, that's a very collector thing. Was
Yes.
your mom big into the movie? Well, how
She- both my mom and my dad loved the Indiana Jones movies. Actually, I think it's funny, and I haven't told this story very much, but my mom and dad's first date was to the movies, and they went to go see Temple of Doom.
Wow.
And so I kind of contribute that to me loving Indiana
Wow.
Jones so much.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
So it's funny because they didn't tell me that until after I started really getting deep into this. And you said my love has always been there, but it wasn't until almost a decade ago that I could actually afford to do these things. But collecting it became almost an addiction, I guess, in a good way. It's just
always a good way.
getting that getting that dopamine rush every time you find something really cool. And
What's crazy too is that, I mean, even if you talk about going back 10 years ago, there wasn't even that much indie stuff available for a long time. I mean, there was the vintage toys and whatever came out with each movie release, but they didn't go crazy with like modern collectibles until probably maybe 10 or 15
Crystal
years
Skull
ago.
probably is the thing that started it. Yeah, like we were talking about before the show. 2008.
huge.
Yeah.
2008 was absolutely huge for Indiana Jones. And then at that time, I wasn't old enough to be able to buy all this stuff. And it's actually the first Indiana Jones movie I saw in theaters. So I kind of have a little bit of a sentimental spot for that movie. It's not my favorite. It's actually my least favorite Indiana Jones movie. But
Interesting. We're going to ask you that. Well,
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys. Alex is considerably younger than us. If you didn't know, I think I lived in this house in 2008. I mean, I have many things, and I'll show you a couple later that are definitely older than you. But that's all good. That's beautiful. Were you 10 years ago? Were you in your lifetime as a kid a collector? We just had someone else on. We asked the same question, and we got an astonishing answer. But did you collect baseball cards or comic books or what have you previously?
I collected when I was a kid. I loved the action figures like every kid does, and I kick myself all the time when I go on eBay and I see what all these figures cost now or are selling for now that I had. And so, obviously I grew up and my parents got rid of all that stuff, but I loved collecting. I actually really liked Ninja Turtles. I loved the Ninja Turtle figures, the Batman figures and all that. So I did collect a ton of action figures, and I'd play with them and everything, but I would actually collect.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I've always been.
It's in your blood to be a collector, I think, except for this other guy. But
Alex, in my basement, there are 3 tubs with Ninja Turtles, Batman animated series, and gargoyles. I'm just waiting for the gene to kick into my son and for him to realize that he really wants these things back. I'll just keep hanging on. So
Just like my mom did, just randomly when they're over. Hey, I found this.
Yeah.
And like I said, it was just a magic moment, and it just instantly clicked, and here we are.
so you said you saw, I guess, Raiders when you were 5. Was that
Yes.
the first one you saw? Was that on television or on a Did you have VHS or?
That was at home, VHS at that time.
Yeah.
And my parents had it on. I remember sitting there just watching it, and I was just enthralled. And I remember the time they're like, "Hey, there's more," and I was like, oh my gosh. And
More.
You imagine that instead of waiting for them?
Yeah,
oh
that
man,
is
I
the
know,
thing.
it was great. And when I was younger, it's like it's ironic because Indiana Jones hates snakes, but when I was a kid, I had those coiled rubber snakes that looked like a whip to me because it was all coiled up, and I used that as a whip.
Oh, that's funny.
And so ever since then, I get a little cowboy hat to look like him and go around the house. I had a little journal acting like a diary, So,
Nice.
but yeah, it's been in my blood for as long as I can remember.
So when you did first start getting into collecting, what was it that you were sort of was it a specific, like, was it action figures or posters, or was it just, I want everything indie?
Basically anything I could get my hands on. I still, like, to this day, I'm constantly searching eBay, and on any free time I have, downtime, I'm on my phone looking, seeing what I can find. I have now focused more on harder to find, harder to get things, because I've realized I'm not going to be able to get everything.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely like production use stuff. I'm starting to kind of dabble in that a little bit. As you've seen, thanks to you, I've got that plaque now, that awesome
He has
plaque.
the Man on the Moon pennant from Dial of Destiny. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah,
That's a slippery slope,
the
the production used stuff.
I got to be very, very careful with that. And that's why I'm grateful about Regal Robot, because they've been doing the replicas of, the production use stuff, and it's definitely far more attainable.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what's really cool about their stuff, because we've all collected replica props for years, and most of them, other than maybe some of the lightsabers and things that were licensed, most of them are like fan made, and as cool as they were, they didn't have the lineage back to, oh, this is scanned from the actual one. Right now, the stuff that Regal Robot's making is all as close and as accurate as it can be. I mean, I even have an Indiana Jones Grail Cup and an Idol that were made 20 years ago, that were cool, but now that I know better, they don't look anything like what they're supposed to look like, but they were on my shelf for 20 years and they were cool.
Yeah. And like you said, just having that lineage to the actual item is awesome to me. It definitely just makes it a little bit more of a sentimental piece, because it is scanned from the one that you see in the movies.
Yeah, that's what's nice that we're seeing these days. Even 5 years ago, there wasn't. I mean, we're just really getting into the scanning technology and stuff in the past 5, maybe a little longer years. But everything was sort of, made from pictures and thought.
Again, a lot of the S sizes and whatnot were estimates based on people who actually watched the films, and so it's this close to his head, and his head's got to be this tall.
Yeah, or even if they took pictures of things when they were in exhibits, it's not the same as calipers and measuring and getting all the matching colors and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You look at some of the stuff that Disney parks have put out. Some of it's really cool, but some of it's pretty inaccurate when you really look at it.
Yeah.
Very, very. Their Grail is.
And the colors they chose. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's
I think I have most of that line, and some of it's very hit and miss.
Yeah.
It's funny.
I buy it all, because it's like I said, it's finding any stuff is far and few in between compared to, say, Star Wars.
Yeah, that's
Star Wars. There's anything you can think of. So when we get something with indie, I buy it. I want to support it because I want to see more of it.
Yeah.
Is it the best when it comes from Disney? No, it's not. But it's
it's not too expensive,
it's fun to
though,
see.
Which is nice.
Yeah, that's nice. The trade off is usually that it's not expensive.
Yeah.
Now I will say their Crystal Skull is pretty good.
I have that. I like that a lot. I mean, it's undersized, but that's okay. It fits better on a shelf.
Absolutely.
But it lights up and it looks pretty good.
Oh yeah. So.
And I know if you follow Alex, you make frequent visits to Disney and check out the what's for sale in the indie sections all the time.
Yes, I like to keep everyone updated with what's available to buy in the parks and whatnot. And then if there's anything new, and every now and then they'll put out a little something new here and there, and they don't even make an announcement. I just walk in and I'm like, oh, that's new. Cool.
That must be exciting, because there's probably a lot of times I've been there. I go maybe once a year to Disney, and there's some years I'm like, there's nothing new from the last time I was here. But
Oh yeah.
when there's something new, it's like, whoa, that's very exciting.
And with the new ride coming out, I can promise you there's going to be a whole lot more new stuff coming.
I know,
that's
that's
great.
interesting. I actually liked the dinosaur ride in terms of, for what it was, but I'm really I'm not saying it's the greatest ride.
No, it was okay. Well, it's gone now, so
It's a good ride,
Rest in peace.
but I've noticed every time I go on it, it gets darker and darker and darker because they're not keeping up with it.
That's
Yeah.
like the
And things
Simpsons
will
ride
fall
at
apart.
Universal. It's almost, you can't even see the screen half the time now.
Yeah, no.
That's
So
funny.
when I'm riding, I'm like squinting my eyes trying to see what's even out there. So it's like it was time for an overhaul.
Yeah, that
I have a soft spot for the dinosaur ride because when my oldest son was young, we were on it, and we were right at the point where they're like, if we don't get out of here now, we're all gonna die. The ride broke down, and my son was losing it because he thought we were gonna die.
Oh my gosh, that's bad timing.
Terrible timing.
Oh man, that'd be
Not
cool
really.
to get
Yeah.
to get stuck on the ride.
Yeah, I
Then
was
like I know
kidding.
they've like people have like been walked off and everything. So
Yeah,
that's
I got
pretty
stuck
cool.
on Haunted Mansion in California for like 3 times, and you're like seeing people open doors and stuff, and it's like, oh, this is
It
weird.
really breaks
It
the
kind of
fourth
breaks
wall.
the illusion when
Yeah.
when the,
Yeah.
the
Oh,
people
yeah.
walk in. And, yeah.
Have they said what the ride's going to be, or you have any
They
idea?
so they've confirmed that it's a whole new story, whole new theme. I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same track because the
That's what I was
dinosaur track
wondering.
is the same one as the indie ride in Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to keep the same mechanics. I know they're redoing the cars to make it look like the one at Disneyland,
Mm.
even though they are pretty similar already. But it's a new theme. It's going to involve a mythical creature to fall in line
Oh,
with
yeah. I did
Animal
hear that.
Kingdom's whole animal thing and
Yeah.
preservation and whatnot. So the story involved is going to fall in line with Animal Kingdom's theme.
Mm.
So that's about all I really know right now. But definitely a lot more coming here soon.
Yeah.
Have you been to the ride in Disneyland in California, Alex?
I have not.
It's good. I've done it a few times. It's
I have
a
too,
fun
but
ride.
I don't remember it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, that's every time I say that, everyone's like, "What? You haven't been on?" I've never been to Disneyland, so
Oh, really?
I need to get over there before this. I think it's fair that I should go over there and ride that one first then
Before
do
this,
one.
yeah.
So I had an opportunity to go last year and be my first ride with John Rhys-Davies. I had set up with John's agent, Ferris. I set up a thing where a group of people got surprised for the 35th anniversary of the ride, and so we couldn't announce it or anything because we didn't want it to be like this huge blow up thing. But there's quite a few people that got to ride the ride with John.
Oh,
And
wow.
I was supposed to be there. My first time riding it was supposed to be with him.
So let's talk about John for a minute because we've had John on this show, and I know you've had John at your house.
In your house,
So-
yeah.
How did that come about? And it sounds like
Before
you know John, but how did that come about?
Before we get to that, let's just tell you we had a bit of a rocky start with Sean. We were at a convention. We go to this convention in Rhode Island every year. It's been like 13 years in a row we've been there, and we record and we do a show from there. And we were able to get him to sit down with us, and we start, asking questions. And
Well, and so
I don't want to talk
if
about.
I could just jump in for a second. So we've done this. This is 610 episodes of this show. This was the one show I was not at. So I wasn't there. But
Episode 500.
we do
It was
the
500.
show. But we do the show from the lobby of the hotel that the convention is at. And we just set up every year in the lobby. And whoever happens to come through the lobby, we try to politely say, hey, would you like to come on? So these guys went over to John and asked him if he would come on. And he basically said he'd give you guys like a minute. And then you can tell us the rest of the story because I wasn't there.
Yeah, so he seemed a little grumpy. I mean, I don't think he's that guy, but
definitely a little grumpy.
it's 10 o'clock at night on Saturday, so it's
okay.
been a long time. So
signing autographs all
we started
day,
asking questions.
Oh yeah.
We're like, oh, so what's your? I don't even remember the questions.
So
He's
we
like,
threw
that's
one of our standard icebreaker questions at him, and he said,
That's
"That's not an
terrible.
interesting question."
Well, he said, who has an intelligent question is how he
Who has an
started.
And
intelligent question?
we're
It's
looking
like,
at each
what are
other,
the
and
standard-
we're like
That's
Indiana.
not
So
interesting.
Indiana Jones, I don't want to talk about that. And we're like, does anyone have an intelligent question? And we're like, oh boy, we got a problem here. And then I'm like,
it was going down in flames.
very
It
good,
was
very
absolutely
much
going
so.
down in flames.
So I say, what do you like to do when you're not acting and you're not working? What hobbies do you have? That's one of my backup questions for everybody. Because if someone's passionate about something like you with Indy or us, whatever, you want to talk about that. So he's like, that's an intelligent question. So, but
first,
Dave,
to
just to refresh your memory, he
nothing.
started out not wanting to answer it, and he said,
Yeah,
"No,
he said,
that's a fair question.
There's really
I'll answer
nothing."
it."
And we pressed, and he mentioned that he loved old British sports cars. Well, Brian, one of our friends who's with us there, also collects and restores old British sports cars. Okay, and so they start going back and forth, and they're rattling off models some of us had never heard
Austin
of.
Healey this and Jaguar
talking about how-
E-Type that, and we're all like,
and how you modify the crankcase from this to fit in this, and it's like, and we're like, what was it? Hour and 20 minutes?
it was an hour. We were with him for an hour and a half, to the point where his handler or whoever
kept
was
coming
like,
over and he'd
John, we have
say,
to go. He's like, I'm talking to my mates.
I'm
Leave me
talking to
alone.
my mate. Leave
That
me
was like a
alone.
quick turnaround.
It's like I ran into him the next day, and he got out. He saw me. He got out of line. He walked over and he says, I hate those sit downs. He says, but last night it was like hanging out with good friends. And it was like, it was just, I mean, when he's on, he's on. And he was terrific. And it was like, he went from like this grumpy dude to turning into Sala.
Had we not had someone who knew about,
oh my God, just because we
mid-century British cars, we would have really had a problem.
And then,
man.
But when he got talking, he was terrific. He was absolutely terrific. Very, very gracious, and he had a good time too, as he told us, and so just a great guy.
That's hysterical. I'm gonna bring up some sports cars next time I see him next month.
Definitely. Yeah.
But let's go to your. I want to hear your story. He eventually came to your house. How did that all transpire?
I'm still like I rattle my brain not understanding how this even happened, but I've grown close with his current agent now, Ferris, who I met for the first time at the red carpet premiere for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny.
We will get into that later too, but yes.
But this all started with him. When I met him there, I was on the elevator at the hotel the day before the premiere, and this guy comes in and he's like, mind you, I've been talking to Ferris for a long time online, but when you talk to people online, you can't really put a face to them, like, unless, but he's like, hey, you're Alex. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, hey, I'm Ferris. I'm like, you're Ferris? I was like, what's going on? And I'm like, what are you doing here? He had never told me he was John's agent at this point. Oh. And he's like, oh, I don't tell a lot of people this, but I'm John's agent. And I'm like, John who? He's like, John Rhys-Davies. So I was like, what? I was like, that's insane. So he invited me to go sit down with them later that night, but I wasn't able to make it because I got his message too late. But ever since then, we talk and talk and talk and talk. And every time he comes to Florida, I make sure to go see them. And he was at Tampa Comic Con because I'm relatively close to Tampa. And he messages me. He's like, hey, can we come over? And I was like, oh, stop. No, no. He's like, give me your address. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, he shows up with Chris Bartlett, John Rhys-Davies, and Jimmy Mulligan. And I'm just like, and John Rhys-Davies' daughter was there with us and everything. And he came upstairs and he was just like amazed by everything. Just super, super nice.
Yeah.
Which I was very nervous because this was a full day after, being at a Comic-Con, 16 hours of work doing this. And this was at night. So I was just he loved it. We sat down with him for probably 30 minutes, and I was like, okay, I don't want to keep him here any longer because he still had to go back the next day and do the Comic-Con again.
Sure,
Yeah.
sure.
And I was just he made it happen. And Ferris is just such an awesome guy, and he loves the fans, John's fans, and John loves his fans. So we made it our first podcast, and it's been like that. And I plan on seeing him again in March when he comes to MegaCon.
MegaCon, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
That's
he won't be
such a
coming
great
here to my house.
story.
That's like a 2-hour drive, but
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, tell him his friends from Rhode Island, say hi.
Oh, absolutely.
And we like I said.
Oh, I'm gonna bring up that story next time I see him. That's hysterical.
Yeah. He was
Well, like I
great.
said, I wasn't there, so I get to hear the recording after the fact, and I'm listening, and I'm like, this is going down in flames. Like,
Yeah,
this is
Alex,
not
Alex
going
you're
well at all.
going to listen to the first few minutes of that interview in
But then
episode
it
500.
turns
Because
around, and it
it's
was
rough.
fantastic.
I mean, it's
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I
So
love
sorry
it.
that after hearing it, and I mean, he's one of the best guests we ever had. I'm so
he was
sorry I
terrific.
wasn't
He
there.
was absolutely terrific.
Oh, yeah.
And again, just like I said, terrific. Yeah.
That's probably, and we've interviewed a ton of people. That one started out the worst of anyone.
Oh God.
For
that
sure.
was-
Yeah.
But look at the turnaround though.
Yeah,
to it. Like
exactly.
We were
180
terrified. We were just like utterly, we were going to bomb with John Rhys-Davies sitting right here, and it was pretty amazing.
We have had a
What I
few
liked about
times
him,
though
though,
where people tell us that, oh well, yeah, we can have like a 15-minute interview, and then an hour and a half later we're like, we don't want to keep you anymore. Like we feel bad that we're keeping you so long.
His handler probably came over 3 times, and he just kept shooing her away, and it was great. And he was like, and finally he got annoyed, and it was just it was terrific, but so good, and yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't hold back though. That's what I love about him. He's completely honest. He's
Yeah.
the most genuine person you'll ever meet. And
For sure.
However he's feeling, you're gonna know.
Yeah.
Well, and you guys were interviewing him during the writer's strike, which I think contributed to him not wanting to talk about Indiana Jones.
Yep.
Yeah.
But how do you get somebody like him,
yeah.
and he won't talk Indiana Jones, and he won't talk Lord of the Rings? Like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I was at a Comic-Con. It was in Orlando. I think it was Fanboy Expo, and I was talking to him, and he's like, "I can't talk about any of that right now." And I'm like, "Understandable."
Interesting.
So,
Interesting.
yeah.
So you mentioned the red carpet for Dial of Destiny. If you don't mind, let's hear that, because you were invited because your website is so popular, and is that how that came about?
That's part of it. The big reason I was invited was my friend Brandon Clayla, Trader Brandon. He was given an opportunity to get a short list together of people, and 2 of the people he wanted to bring, he wanted them to be a teacher, and he wanted to have someone that was in the medical field. 2 of those were like, I think, just to kind of help, give back because he really appreciates, those professions. And I'm a nurse.
Oh, okay.
So I had been friends with Brandon for years prior to this, and we would talk, occasionally every now and then. And he messaged me, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're gonna get something. Be sure to be checking your emails, your messages." I was like, okay. He's like, "You're gonna get invitations." Like, "Oh, I got the invitation. I'm going to this private event." Or I got the invitation. He's like, "Oh man," because at this point we've never seen each other in person. He's like, "Yeah, it's gonna be nice to finally meet you. Too bad it's 6,000 miles away." And I'm like, what are you talking about? That's not the invitation I got. I got an invitation to go to Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar for a merchandise event, private event from Disney with all the new Indiana Jones merchandise coming out.
That's awesome too.
And
We
he's
love
like,
that
"Oh."
place.
Yeah, and so Disney had invited me out, to do some content and show what was coming out before it came out. And I got to try all the food, all the Indiana Jones themed food and everything, just so I could do a report on it, video. And he's like, "Oh, no, there's something else coming." And I'm like, okay. I'm like, "What, did you move to California?" And I didn't know because I was like 6,000 miles away. He had to move to California. I know he kind of bounced back and forth. So he's like, I can't say anything else. I was like, okay. And then about a week later, I get a message from Lucasfilm inviting me out to the red carpet premiere for Dial of Destiny.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And I was like, I messaged him. I was like, "Is this what you were talking about?" And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, and they approved, because they had to check my content and all that stuff. Like, you know,
Sure.
make sure I was appropriate and whatnot,
Yeah.
do background and all that. And so, but yeah, it's mainly because of him putting my name on that list that really got me in there. I was going to go regardless and stand out back. Like, I have a whole documentary that I made I started filming a year before that movie came out. My progress of like what I was going to do to get there. And I was writing letters to Lucasfilm, documenting it all. And, you know, I wasn't doing it to get to the premiere, but just showing my appreciation is like, hey, I'm so glad like you guys are doing this. Like, there's a lot of negativity out there. I'm excited. And that's mainly what kind of pumped my channel up, my pages up a lot, because I was like, what really started this was at that time, all I kept seeing was negative stuff before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to put a positive spin to this because I am genuinely excited for this. And I'm not one to judge something before it comes out. So I just, every day I was made at least one new post regarding Indiana Jones and just making it positive and making it fun and genuine. So for the last 4 years now, 4 years now, I've posted every day on social media some form of content since that day I decided to do that.
Really?
And it's become a hobby of mine and I love it. It's fun. It's my escape. You know, I'm a nurse. I see a lot of good and I also see a lot of bad. I work in trauma surgery.
Oh boy. Well, thank you
in critical
for
care.
what you do for sure. Cause
And
there's not enough people
so-
doing that.
when bad things happen, it's bad.
Yeah.
And so I'm surrounded by that a lot. And Indiana Jones has kind of become my escape from reality from that because I need to decompress and this is how I do it. And so it's been a big part of my life. I come home and I just kind of sit up here for a little bit if I've had a traumatic day.
Sure.
And, and it helps. It helps a lot. And so I just kind of focus my energy on this, when I'm not working, this and my family, and my family is super supportive of it. Thank God, because my wife actually, Tiffany is the one that pressures me to buying a lot of this stuff too. I'm like, I don't know. Like, she's like,
really? Wait a second.
She's like,
Did
you
she
work
meet
too
our
hard for
wives?
this
Pressures you to
100%
buy
supportive.
stuff.
Yeah, I can't thank her enough. She's pushed me to do this. She supports this hobby. I love editing. I love making videos. I'm insanely obnoxious, borderline cringe because of how much I love this stuff. But it's fun for me, and that's all that matters to me.
But you know what, Alex?
If someone doesn't like
much
it,
of online fandom tends to skew negative.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
It seems like it's so much easier to point out issues and to go negative. And I follow you and I've been watching your stuff forever and
It is very
you're
positive.
the most
yeah.
positive guy I've seen. Like it's just it makes it fun to watch. And I've shied away from a lot of the channels and a lot of the people I used to follow because I just get tired of the negativity on, especially I mean, Indiana Jones is one thing with being a Star Wars fan.
oh man,
It's
Or Star
That's
Trek.
brutal.
Yeah, there's too much negativity.
It's a
yeah.
short-term strategy to get attention.
it is. And
But then once that
unfortunately-
becomes your game, that's the only thing you have going.
Yeah.
correct,
And it's just not it's not good for anybody.
No, it gets the clicks, it gets the view. Negativity sells. It
Yeah.
does.
Well, yeah.
That's why there's so much of it out there, and I refuse to go down. I have criticisms. I have things I don't like. Why do I want to spend my time talking about something I don't like?
Right. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the thing. It's like, why? It's just going to put me in a bad mood.
Yeah.
And so people are like, well, why? It's all just positive. You just talk positive. I'm like,
Yeah.
because I don't want to be negative. I don't like it. It puts me in a bad mood, and I don't like that. Why would I want to do that?
And
That's
you
a
know,
really,
it's
really
fun
good
for everybody
point.
else,
There's
which is
plenty of
also
others
nice.
out there that go negative, like that talk negatively. Like
Yeah.
go watch that stuff. You're
Yeah.
not gonna find that here.
Yeah.
Every now and then, like when I'm showing products that I like, or if I have a criticism, I will talk about it, but I'm not gonna drill it in
Yeah, yeah.
and just keep talking about it. And it's like, this is, I think this could have been done better, but I'm going to follow it up with something positive because I don't want to stay in that mind frame. And that's just the way I work, and that's the way my content is.
Yeah.
And so,
No, that's
I do get a lot of people that don't like that, and they'll comment like, I'm a shill, or I'm too much of a fanboy. And I'm like, no, I'm just not going to focus on the negative stuff. And if that's what you want, you can go see this other channel over here that focuses on that.
And you're passionate in a good way about what you do. And that's what drew me to your channel, that how passionate and positive you are. And, you know, it's funny, what you said about you have an incredibly stressful day job. And if this gives you that release, my wife volunteers at this horse ranch thing. And she's like, there was another volunteer guy. He's a medical student, and he does this because he's got some incredibly difficult days. And just to go feed some horses and muck out some stalls just gives him this release. And I give people like that a lot of credit. There's a lot of people who have stressful lives who just go in the wrong direction. You're doing something very positive to keep yourself balanced, which is terrific.
Hey, I want to go back to the Dial of Destiny red carpet.
I do too. But this was important.
Yeah, I went way off on a tangent. I'm
No,
sorry.
but that's a great tangent
because there's a good story in here, so I wanted to make sure you share it.
The thing is, I'm very positive on our channel, and these guys are very negative. No, that's true. I'm negative, but in a fun way.
Believe him, Alex.
You may not want to listen to any episode to get that corroboration on that.
I'm fun about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, please, Dial of Destiny. So you go out to California.
You get invited out to the red carpet.
Yeah, so I got invited, through Brandon, and which I can't thank him enough. I always get it. Anytime I get a chance to thank him, I will. So I go out there with Tiffany, and we got out there the day before, and I met Ferris there, and then we go out there, and they select about 30 people out of the whole group. I think there was 200 people that were invited, and they selected 30 of us to be in the fan pit, which is right there where all the actors and actresses and everybody will stand right there, and they kind of come mingle with them a little bit. And so I was right there when they were picking the people, and they're like, you two right here. I was like, oh my gosh. So we got to go in the fan pit, and we literally saw anybody and everyone that was involved with any of the previous Indiana Jones movies. I did notice that like the big heavy hitters like Harrison Ford, George Lucas, and Steven Spielberg, they kind of like made a beeline straight to the photo area. Like they waved to us and everything and walked. I was 2 feet away from Harrison Ford.
I've seen all your videos.
Steven Spielberg and George. Yeah. And so, but they were like, I have a feeling they told at least those 3, you got to go straight there. Like they couldn't do any autographs or pictures or anything, but everybody else came up to us, which was fantastic. And the one thing that stuck out to me the most that night, and not just seeing Harrison Ford, was James Mangold. He is literally probably my second favorite director behind Steven Spielberg. I love all of his movies. They're fantastic. Yep. And he saw me, we made eye contact, and he made a beeline to me, and he goes, "It's Alex, right?"
Nice.
And I was like, I have the whole reaction on like.
I've seen it. Todd, you got to see it.
Oh, I did.
I'm like,
it's terrific, and it's just your exuberance. We're like, he knew my name.
Yeah, like, my wife Tiff, she's like, he said Alex.
It was just a beautiful, like, kind of fan meets, this moment. It was just great, and yeah.
Unbelievable. He's like, well, let's take a picture, Al, and like I hear it like it was like it just happened every day.
No, that's
and I was like tears in my eyes, like it was unbelievable because I was like, how in the world this man know who I was out of this whole group of people we have here?
Yeah.
So obviously he's either watched my stuff or I have interacted with him on X a couple of times, which my X just got hacked. I got to find a way to get that back. So anyone watching this, if you follow me on X, do not engage with that account right now at all. They're posting some crypto stuff up right now.
I wonder why that's happening. Yeah, that's a whole nother story.
It's crazy. But that was just an incredible moment. And then Tiff and I have always been trying to go see John Williams live, and it just never, ever, ever worked out. We were going to travel to go see him, but for some reason something came up. We weren't able to do it. We had no clue that John Williams was going to open the movie.
Oh, wow.
And so Steven Spielberg, they're all up there talking about to, getting ready to
What
introduce
theater
the
was it
movie.
at? Which theater?
This was at the Dolby Theater
Dolby,
in
okay.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they're up on stage and they're like, okay, we're gonna go. And then Steven's like, whoa, wait, hold on, we're forgetting something. And I think Spielberg may have been the only one that really knew on that stage what was about to happen, because everyone's reaction when the curtain rose up and John Williams was there with the whole orchestra, like everyone freaked out, like even on stage. Harrison Ford, they were all like, what?
That's awesome.
You know. And so when Steven Spielberg introduced John, you know, he's like, we couldn't have done any of this without the great maestro, John Williams. And then the curtain starts rising up and it's the whole orchestra with John. I was like,
Oh, that's awesome.
just a mess of tears. Like I have video and you can hear me just the amount of joy coming out of my mouth. It was obnoxious, but you could hear the tears. And so it was just an incredible moment of my whole entire life. Like, I don't think anything will ever really top that. The fact that I got to watch an Indiana Jones movie with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You know,
and that's like just total validation for everything that you did up to that point and everything that you've been doing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It made everything, not that I wasn't doing what I was doing prior to that for that. That was just a huge reward. But like you said, it was a validation, like, okay, like this is it. Like,
but that's probably why it happened for you, right? That sometimes those kind of things only happen when you're not out there, you know, fishing for it.
Yeah, no, it definitely helped. And, you know, like I said, knowing Brandon, that was the big key. But I would imagine that, you know, obviously Lucasfilm had seen my stuff before too. So they gave me the go ahead to do this. And so I was just like, this is incredible. And then it was funny that after the movie, I actually ran into James Mangold again at the after party and shook his hand and told him, you know, I really loved the movie, which I genuinely did.
Yeah,
I love the
it was a
movie.
good flick.
Again, it's not my favorite. Yeah. It's my second to last favorite.
What's
It's
I
hard
mean,
to
is
compete
your
with the first three.
I think we have the same order as you do, but what is your order?
My order, so Last Crusade and Raiders are interchangeable for me. I can't ever decide. Raiders is the perfect movie. I like it, but I
say
tend to
that
watch
all the
Last
time.
Crusade more. And so it's Raiders, Last Crusade, Temple of Doom, Dial of Destiny, Crystal Skull.
Yeah, that's my.
I like Crystal. At least I don't think any of them are bad. Like that's just my ranking of them.
We have an expression on this show when somebody says something that is bullshit. We'd say they're crystal sculling, and
They're trying to convince themselves of
about 12 or 13 years ago. Barry said, "You know, I rewatched Crystal Skull, and it's not as bad as you think it is." And then we've decided that. So we made Crystal Sculling. When you're trying to convince something, somebody is
when you're
better
trying to
than it
convince
actually is.
yourself that something's better than it is. Not
You're
that.
Crystal Sculling right now, and
So we all have the little vodka crystal skulls.
So it's just like you're Crystal Sculling.
And the crystal skull thing for me, you know, my youngest son was young when that came out, and he was an Indiana Jones fanatic, and so I got to see it through his eyes, which you guys didn't get to experience. So I have a bit of a soft spot. It's still I would say it's in fifth.
My son's
in last place, but
you're
I do
young, older than yours, so he didn't. I know, but and it's funny that I feel like that movie's grown on me in subsequent watchings, as has Temple of Doom. I mean, I try to find especially since I know you know I have the chicken skewer. That validates that movie for me, having the chicken skewer.
Yeah.
So.
That's an incredible piece that you have.
Yeah.
That's insane. Oh,
It's not what comes to mind when people think of Indiana Jones, but when you get, I mean, I've seen it at Dave's house. When you see it in person, you're, oh my God,
I can't afford what comes to mind when, you know.
Yeah, no.
Did you get that from Prop Store?
I bought that in a prop store auction, yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. That's the first, well, that's not really, I had some older props, but that's like the first big, not even big. That's the first like real prop when I started buying real props. I had
the way the
stuff
prop industry has, or the way the prop collecting has changed. If that came up now, it would sell for twice what you ended up paying for.
Of course.
Oh yeah.
There were a handful of things.
How long have you had that
trying
piece?
to think, it's got to be It's definitely pre-COVID.
At least 5 years.
It's got to be. Yeah. It's got to be like 6 or 7 at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. There were
That's
two
awesome.
things.
Yeah.
There were two things. No, there were three things I was bidding on in that auction. There was an arrow from the temple scene. Those went for crazy money, even back then. There was they had the sign that's on the raft when they jump out of Lao Che's plane when it's crashing. There was this red sign, and I wanted that at the time more than I wanted the chicken skewer, and someone else, I got outbid on that, and then I'm like, I'm getting one. I'm getting the chicken skewer, and I feel like the chicken skewer is better than both those things now. I mean,
Dave, nobody has made an action figure with that raft, okay? But they did make an action figure with the chicken skewer.
Yeah, I know.
They did.
They did. I have it on my shelf next to my
That's
indie
the thing.
stuff,
So it's
but-
like, I mean, how awesome is that there's an action figure holding an object that you own the real object of? I mean, it really
That's
doesn't
awesome.
get
True. And that to me is
elevates it to like the whip and the hat. I'm telling you.
Well, yeah, well, let's okay. I'll trade you when you go buy a whip or a hat. I will trade you the chicken skewer. But to me, that's it. The best scene in the movie for me is certainly that opening, and I think that's one of the best moments in the best scene in the movie. So
Yeah.
I'm happy to have it. There is another one, at least another one out there somewhere. I don't know where it is though. I've never seen it come up for auction.
Yeah.
Next week on Prop Store.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that's
that's a
incredible.
good order of films. I think. Do we all have the same order?
I think so.
Yeah.
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 Yeah,
No,
I mean,
the
Raiders to
emotional
me is
tone of
always in
dial
the
got me.
top position, though. I mean, I really do love all the first three, but Raiders is number one.
Yeah, we did amongst us and our two other hosts. We did our top favorite 100 movies, which was there's a 2-part episode, which was quite involved. But I really thought Indiana Jones was going to come out first, but it's Star Wars and then Indiana Jones. But
That's fair. That's fair.
Todd, I think you probably put Indiana Jones Raiders as your
I
number
always
one.
put Indy first. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
Man.
Raiders first. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh man, that's so cool.
Have you seen them all in the theaters now?
I have seen them all finally, and the
Yeah.
last one I needed to see was Temple of Doom, and I saw that in theaters 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So
The last time I saw Raiders, I mean, I think we all saw everything first run, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
man.
I saw Raiders in IMAX maybe 5 years ago. It was in IMAX, which was something else. Yeah, that was beautiful.
I'd love to go see it in 35 millimeter when they do it in California every now and then.
Yeah, they do.
So
Yeah, you always see that. They always
I
they
would
have.
love to go do
There's
that.
a ton of stuff that they do that for out there. That's the place to see
Especially
movies.
with the Academy Museum now, they do a lot of screenings.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. Oh man, that's a dream of mine. That's a bucket list right there.
So I know you said that your collecting now is focused a little bit more on sort of the harder to get things, but what's something that you're hunting for that you have yet to be able to track down? Is there like a white whale out there for you?
A white whale, Barry, Holy Grail.
Is there a holy? Let's just say a holy
Well, he has
grail.
a Holy
Yeah.
Grail. I know. I have the same one.
So right now, what I'm really looking for doesn't actually pertain to the movies. It's something I saw recently at the show at Hollywood Studios, and it's the jacket that I saw them wear for the recent anniversary it just had, and it has the idol on the back. So I'm like, 'cause I'm messaging some of the guys that work at the show. I'm like, hey, I got some money. I got some Benjamins here for you if you don't want that jacket.
Oh,
So
really? That's
Captain Cool
cool.
stuff. Yeah.
I love promotional stuff, and I love stuff like that that's not available to the public.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like crew gifts, I love crew gifts. Stuff that people are given that worked on the movies. So that's kind of like the stuff I'm working on right now. Production stuff, I'll get there eventually. But
Crew gift stuff is easier to get, and it's fun stuff. That's cool.
Within a window.
Oh, yeah.
You got
The
to.
challenge with production used stuff though with the indie movies too is that if you're talking about jackets, hats, and whips, the prices are insane.
Oh yeah.
$1
be
million
amazing.
like is where
And
we
other
are
than
now.
like bugs from the dinner scene in Temple, there's just not a lot of stuff out there.
No.
Yeah.
Because so much of it is in the Lucasfilm archives, and the things that people really wanted off the set were whips and hats and jackets, and it's not that many of those out there.
And it's crazy to think how many hats there are actually out there from the production.
And
Barry knows
there's
it.
more for every movie. You know, there was maybe 5, then there was 10, then there was like 20. But we
I
had
keep
this
seeing another
whole
one pop up.
yeah, we had this whole show about like this has got to be 4 or 5 years ago. But like, is a hat attainable? And that's before everything went. Now they're
no.
absolutely
No.
not. You know,
I will
it was,
never pay that price for one of those.
there's a time when you could get a hat for 20 grand, but that's
It
15
was,
years
yep.
ago, 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
No, those days are long gone.
Yeah.
Not anymore, especially now with the 4Ks and the fact that they're able to match so many things. Like,
Yep.
it's
Oh, yeah.
the prices
What-
they're never going to come back, especially on anything associated with Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
costume. Prices are never going to come
Yeah.
down.
You have I've seen you in a hat. What do you have a specific hat that you, or do you have multiple hats? You replica hats?
I have like I have a couple of the Disney ones that are not accurate whatsoever.
Yeah, that's the one I have.
But they have gotten a little better, but I have a Herbert Johnson, and that was a dream of mine always to have a Herbert Johnson,
Yeah.
simply because of the name behind it,
Sure.
the lineage to it, and so I've gotten that, and now Regal Robot again.
I'm
have
very
that fedora
excited
coming
about the
out.
Regal Robot
Yeah,
hat.
I'm
We all
super
are.
excited for their hat. 'Cause
I was-
That's a cool piece.
I went to London and I'm like, I'm going to Herbert Johnson. I'm going to get a Herbert Johnson hat. And you go to Herbert Johnson and they have no hats and they hardly have a store. And I was like, oh, can I get measured for one? It's like, no, we don't. You only do that. We only do that a couple months out of the. So, not that I went to London for that, but I was really disappointed. And then I was going to order one. And then I know Tom's coming out with one. I'm like, I'm going to get that and see what the deal with that is.
Yeah, the Regal Robot one's going to be really cool. Again, with the lineage to it. I'm so excited for that. And the Idol. Cannot wait for the Idol. Been waiting for a good one of those.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It is amazing all the idols that have ever been put out. And again, I don't think there's ever been a. Did the Disney parks do a licensed idol? I don't think they have.
they
right?
did do a licensed Idol, but
Yeah.
not with the eyes.
Not with the eyes open, but
Yeah.
every idol I've seen is slightly misshapen and the wrong size.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
it is bigger than people think it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so, I saw the eyes on the Regal Robot one, and that's what blew me away, is because even like the other replicas that are out there right now have not been able to really match the eyes from the movie. But Regal Robot has, again, they blew it out of the water with that, because it's spot on.
I saw that. I've obviously seen that movie a million times, but it was years before I even realized that the eyes were open at certain points.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and they move.
Yeah, and that they
Yeah.
moved. Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
There's
Crazy.
like a split second you can actually see the eyes kind of like going like this.
Yep.
For one.
It's so
for one
cool.
little split second, but
Yeah, that's I have a bunch of the Regal Robot props that they've done, obviously, but I'm super excited for that idol.
that's probably going to be my new favorite item. I love the Donovan demise. That's probably my favorite right now. I can't believe they did that.
Can't either.
There's some wacky stuff they're doing for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It's stuff that I never would have dreamed of seeing. So
And that's really their thing, though. They they do the popular things, but they like to do things that nobody expects too.
Mm-hmm.
I would say I was initially surprised that the stuff sells out as quick as it does.
Oh yeah.
But there's just a huge untapped market for things of that quality for indie. There's the toys are out there, and the action figures and all that kind of stuff. But there is a market.
Oh yeah.
That that middle ground. Better.
If you
produced
look at a franchise as big as that is and as popular as it is compared to Star Trek or Star Wars, there is not a ton of stuff when you really get down to it. That's
partially
what
grateful
almost
for
makes
that.
it.
And Alex has all of it, so it's like he's hoarding it.
But like
and
that
so-
Urn of Nurhachi, that I was super excited about that.
Oh yeah.
There was
Talk
one
about
guy on
fast
the
sellouts. That thing
RPF
sold
who
out.
made it,
So fast.
and that was it. You couldn't even get a replica of it for
No.
years.
Well, and there's still somebody on the RPF and Facebook that's making them and selling them, but when you look at them side by side with the one that Regal Robot put out, it's
it's nowhere
day.
near as good. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
happy about that. I wonder if they'll ever do a diary. I have a really good diary from some guy who made it on the RPF. That's something that is very hit and miss with who makes them. too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That might be a fun project to try to take on.
I was going to, and that's why I bought one, because I'm like, this is overwhelming. And I have all the pages. I have all the pages on a CD-ROM. That's how long ago I started that project. Yep. But it's just like,
I can't believe like some of those are like it's completely filled with pages, actual written work in it, and everything is crazy.
Seen, so it's a complete I mean, it's like yeah.
Because I don't even think in the movie you see every single page.
No,
like how they come up with this is insane.
It was mostly from the game that they knew all the pages were there.
They didn't know when they commissioned it what would be seen and what wouldn't be seen, and so they just went to town on it. And
it's crazy. So between all the little things that have come out about it, like the amount of work that's been put into that is admirable for sure.
It's and I don't know what those go for now, but I thought I got mine for a bargain, and there's a ton of work in it. I don't think you can get
a good one for under $300 or $400. I think.
Oh yeah, I paid like $350 for mine 10 years ago. And, speaking,
I know Tom would love to do one of those though.
Yeah. For sure. It's a lot of work.
The licensing between all the different publishers and stuff that are involved in that book, it would be a nightmare.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and that's I mean, I'm sure that they're doing a hat, so they're stepping outside of their normal production of resin and wood and whatever. But yeah, that would be a very different type of production.
Yeah. Which I'm surprised they're even doing a fedora like you said, because that's completely
we were shocked by that. Yeah, we talked to him a couple months ago. He was on the show talking to us about it, but that's exciting. Well, we're talking about props and stuff, so we're going to we call it What's in the Box. It's somewhat of a show and tell. We're all going to do an indie item, right? Alex, you're prepared for that, I believe.
Yes, I am.
Should Alex go first or last?
Let's let him go last.
Okay.
I'll go last. You guys go first.
Okay. Go. Barry, why don't you go? Is something behind you?
No, those are purely for just aesthetic display tonight. I'm going to go with something I literally just got this weekend.
Oh, so something new.
Something new, which is something old, but something new.
Yeah.
You guys know, and I've talked about it on the show, I'm a very selective comic book collector. I'm not a crazy, I don't have a lot of comic books. I'm not going after large runs of things, but certain things, especially things that are tied to franchises I love, I am. So I've decided that I wanted to get the Indiana Jones comics, and they are not like I go to comic book shows. There's a once a month comic book show local to me, and there's never any Indiana Jones comics. Nah. So Todd actually picked up the young Indiana Jones. He got the whole thing for me in one run. Somebody was selling the entire run, so that's done. But I want to get the further adventures of, and I was at a show this weekend, and they had issue number 1.
Oh wow!
Right.
Like $10. So I was like,
I don't know if I've ever even seen that.
I've read
good
that.
price too.
Indiana Jones. So picked this up. I got this and one other issue. So now there's I think there's only 34 issues in the run, so it's not a huge thing. But so now I'm going to be tracking those down.
In terms of reading, the Dark Horse ones are the best. The later Dark Horse ones, they're awesome stories. And
I've got some of those from years back, like in an omnibus. I've got those just because I wanted to read them.
Right.
Yeah. Those are the ones I'm looking for. I have one of them.
Yeah.
So
one other real quick one I'm going to show, and this is just because this merges my two of my favorite franchises, but I've always loved this thing.
Yes.
Yeah, we have. Hey, Barry,
I think I bought one of these for you guys, right?
That's incredible.
Yeah, it's the Staff of Ra Millennium Falcon mashup.
That's so cool. That's like a cool little challenge coin there.
Yeah, I love this thing. It's great.
Yeah.
That is really cool.
Todd, what do you got?
Okay. So these are two things that I've had since the 90s. I've got, and they were like, so one of these things, this is, I had talked to you guys about this before. This is a replica of a shooting script.
Can't see it. Well, it looks like
anything
white
at all here.
Oh, there you go.
I see it.
Here we go. Now
it's a photocopy of shooting script. I bought this in like the first or second year of eBay from a guy who was just selling scripts. And so it's a photocopy of the shooting script. And so it was like 96 or 97. And he had scripts for all kinds of things. The cool thing with this one is it's got the wrong size binder holes because it's from the UK.
Okay.
And so, but the scenes that aren't in the movie are in here.
nice.
the battle with the he doesn't shoot the Arab swordsman. He gets the whip around his legs and he pulls his legs out from under him. The Shanghai scene that was used later, you know, in Temple of Doom is in here. So it's just really cool. I mean, there was not a lot of stuff at that time, and I got this thing, and I just read this thing like, you know, crazy. It's just really, really cool. And like I said, now it's kind of aged into looking like it should. So it's the amount of time I've had it's got a little provenance to it. And so anyways, like I said, it's one of my first indie things. The other is my favorite of all time Indiana Jones figure, which is totally not. That is not my favorite. Anyways, this was the first indie figure, 1/6 scale indie figure I bought. And this is a
nice
custom figure.
Oh no, it's custom.
No,
it's got the gloves.
McCoy. This is a custom figure. They made a small number of they call it the Relic Raider. Okay.
Yep.
And it's got some of the coolest things. The jacket is like cotton, but it's treated so it actually looks
leather,
like
it looks like leather.
Jacket.
Yeah.
The whip is probably the best whip of any of the I mean, look at the detail.
Wow.
It's insane. And the bag is weighted so it hangs perfectly. It came with the revolver, the 45 revolver, the Webley, and the Browning high power.
Oh my gosh.
And again, it's on a dragon body. He's a little thin, it's a little dark, but it's a custom head.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's just
That's from '90s.
I remember when that came out. Yeah.
That looks better than the original, the previous Sideshow one they put out.
It does. But yeah, no, it's just something I've had forever. And when we were talking, I said I got to get him out of the box. But yeah, and this was back when there just wasn't stuff like this. There wasn't a licensed indie thing, and even Toys McCoy wasn't sold in the United States. So it's like I said, it's great. And so that the hat, okay, that's made of like foam material, like foam core. I mean,
oh my gosh,
this thing is really it's all custom, but the detail on it is just phenomenal.
This way,
and yeah. So
you got to.
Anyway,
it's not in the camera.
I know it's really really hard, but
that's really incredible for the time that came out.
Oh, it's amazing, and the holster's leather. You know, it's like stuff like that. Yeah. So, like I said, it was a different era in the '90s for 1/6 scale. There was a lot more custom stuff than there was commercial stuff, and so
that is awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna try and find one of those now.
Hey Dave, what do you got?
Dave, what
All
do you
right. I'm going to do something that I did probably years ago, but this, I'm going back. Todd was in the 90s. I'm going back to the 80s. I have two things. This could possibly be the first Indiana Jones thing, Raiders of the Lost Ark. This I got when I was a member of the Star Wars fan club in very early 81. It says opens in theaters everywhere. So this was a little promo they sent out to members of the Star Wars fan club in 81, showing pictures, and then it has a little write-up about the movie. This is all before the movie came out.
Yep.
Opens in theaters everywhere June 12th, 1981. And
I think when they sent that out, the cast wasn't even like fully solidified at that point.
Well, this was done already. So there's it's not Tom Selleck.
Oh well, yeah, there. So, but
they had done production. But this I've had for 46 years. I got this in 45 years. 1980, 81 it came out.
Well, let me see. I don't know where it's at. I have a folder that picture came into, and I think it's just obviously separate. And it was a production folder. And on the back of it, it says like potential casting. Like it's
really?
not even. And I think that's why it's like that came with it when I bought it.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
That picture, that's awesome.
I've kept this. And my second thing, so back after Raiders came out, before everyone even knew what the real jackets were, we all got our Wested jackets wherever I threw mine. But remember, brown distressed jackets were everywhere. So in the mid 80s,
Banana Republic.
I got this from a place in the city called the Cockpit. This was the Raiders, the Raiders model, that is not accurate at all. But this is
No.
actually a Navy G2 that they distressed, but they sold it as the Raiders jacket. This is probably 86.
And you still have it.
You know me, I keep
Wow.
everything. It does not fit me. It's a medium. I haven't been a medium since 1986. But that's
That's
That is,
awesome.
boy, that is
Raiders jacket.
a naval flyers jacket. That really
Oh,
is.
this is a G2
Yeah.
Navy fighter jacket. This is a company called Averex, which
Oh yeah,
back
yeah, I remember that.
Averex jackets were going for like $1,200.
Yeah, yeah.
Back then it was not that
Man.
much, but so this is, you know,
I love the
everyone had
color on
these
that.
jackets back
Yeah, the
then.
color on it's great. The design of it doesn't.
It's
matter.
not at
leather,
all.
it's-
It's got these zippers
No, it's not.
and
Yeah, but
it doesn't have. It's
Man.
got the fabric down here. So,
Yeah.
but this was what they sold as a Raiders
Yeah.
jacket.
I love that.
Yeah.
Man,
It'll probably fit you because it certainly doesn't fit me.
that's awesome. Well,
So,
I guess
Alex,
it's
what
my
do you
turn.
got? Yeah,
You're up.
Well, you said in about. Hold on one second. I got it right here.
yeah. Look at all that stuff back there. There's plenty of stuff.
All right. Well, you said what's in the box.
Oh, look at that.
So this is like a 2-in-1 item here, Gus. So this right here was actually very few of these were made, and they were given out to like some content creators back when Dial of Destiny was coming out. And I saw one of my other content creator friends post about getting this, and it had a whole bunch of merchandise in it. And he made a video on it. I was like, oh my gosh, that thing's incredible. And so I went to that private event, Jocks, with all the merchandise, and they had these crates there. So anything that's ever happened to me, I've never asked for. It's all been just kind of fallen in my lap. All these events and stuff, they've reached out to me. I'm not one to ask for anything. But I saw this there at the event, and I was like, I nudged Tiff, and I was like, there's the crate. There's the crate. Again, I didn't ask for it. We left the event, and about a half hour later, I get a text message saying, hey, are you still here on property? And I was like, yeah, I'm actually just in another store in Disney Springs here. They're like, come, if you can, come back. So I was like, okay. So I ran back, and one of the reps from Lucasfilm had this in her hand. She's like, here you go. And I'm like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me right now?
Wow.
And so she gave it to me. I get home and I open it, and a lot of the merch was inside of it too. I wasn't even expecting that. It's
Oh wow.
heavy, but about half the merch I already had. So everything that I already had, I just gave away to other fans. And so that was just incredible. And this is one of my most prized possessions. But inside of here, what's in the box is this right here.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
So when Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was being released, again, another insane opportunity that I had, Xbox and Bethesda and Lucasfilm reached out to me and said, hey, would you like to come out to LA and play the game before it comes out? And I'm like, yeah. So I was like, this is insane. So they flew me out there. Everything they always stress, like, you have to make sure every time you talk about it that it's, this was all paid for. They paid for my flight, they paid for my hotel, everything while I was out there. It was insane. They put me up in this hotel that I absolutely did not belong. Everyone was in suits. I was like, this is way too fancy for me. It's like, I do
That's
not
funny.
fit in here at all. And it's funny, I get up, we land, and it says, oh, your chauffeur is here. And I'm like, chauffeur? What does that mean? I never thought I'd have my own show. And sure enough, they're like, go to this gate, and this freaking Escalade comes up and picks me up with my name on the window, Alex
wow.
Arnold. I was like, what is this?
That's awesome.
So I go out there, I meet with some of the designers and the director of one of the directors of the game, and I get to play it for a few hours, gave my feedback, and then I fly back, and about a week later I get an email saying, hey, we're going to send you something in the mail, and then this shows up. And I was like, the only time I had seen this was on the announcement they made for a sweepstakes giveaway. and this was in conjunction with a gold Xbox.
Oh yeah.
Which I'm still trying to find out who won that. But apparently they made 10 of these, and this is actual real leather on the controller, and then the buttons here are meant to be jewels, and then this is all gold leaf plated in the back. So
that's amazing.
They gave out 10 of these to 10 of the 10 other creators, and I was one of them. Funny story with this. So I had the opportunity in MegaCon to go meet Troy Baker, who voiced Indiana Jones for the game. And I'm in line, and one of my friends is ahead of me, and he's talking to Troy for his turn meeting him. And I'm holding this in my hand and not really thinking anything of it. But I went there, I brought it here to show him. And he's talking to my friend, and then he looks over, and then he looks again, does a double take. He's like, "Where did you get that?" And I'm like, "Oh, Bethesda sent this to me." And he's like, "No, I know. Do you know you have any idea how many of these there are out there?" He's like, "I don't even have one."
Oh wow.
And he's like, "Wait a second, you're that guy." And I will forever be known as, he goes, "You f***ed up my algorithm." So I guess I pop up on his algorithm also. I will always be considered the guy who effed up Troy Baker's algorithm with stuff that he sees on social media. And it was just so funny. He's like, "I love your videos. Like your stuff is great." And all this stuff. So it was just, we had this whole conversation. I felt bad though, because this whole thing interrupted my friend's time with him.
Now, are you a gamer to begin with, or?
I play video games casually, but as soon as I heard the Indiana Jones game playing, I dedicated all my time to that. So, they gave me access to the game about almost a month before the game actually came out, even after, because I went to go play it in LA about 2 to 3 months before it came out. And then about a month, they gave me access to play and beat it. And I spent every waking moment.
I've heard it's a great game.
It's fantastic.
People talk really, really highly of it.
It's coming out in May for the Switch, and I got a Switch. My wife got me a Switch for my birthday in November, so I'm actually looking forward to playing it when it comes out.
It's fantastic. I'm going to play it again on the Switch, too, when it comes out.
Yeah.
I already have it pre-ordered. I had bought the game, and then they sent me a free collector's edition, which then I did a giveaway for, because I still wanted to support the game. It's like, I'm not going to return my game. I want to support the game, so I'm just going to do a giveaway and give it to someone who doesn't have it. And so I did that, and then it was just incredible. But it's just a funny moment with Troy Baker saying, "You up my algorithm."
That's funny.
What was the game was it early 2000s? What was the indie game that came out that was
Emperor's Tomb?
Emperor's Tomb, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a fun one too. All the indie games are pretty good.
I'm not a gamer at all, and so my son wanted that, and he liked Indiana Jones too, and so I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll play this with you, and he utterly kicked my ass in the game, and I realized like an hour into this, I was playing like a human being. And the indie in the game can jump a lot higher, and there was all these things that he could jump a much. So it was kind of like but I was playing like Harrison Ford, and he was playing like a stuntman.
Oh my gosh!
And it was like I'm like, I can't jump off this wall, and it was like, and I go to run around, and but yeah, it's they're fun.
They're a ton of fun.
It'll be indie for a little while.
Oh yeah, no, I think they did an excellent job with this game, and whenever you do play it on the Nintendo, I think even if you're not an Indiana Jones fan, but you like adventure games, you're gonna enjoy this game. But if you're an Indiana Jones fan, you're in for a treat. It is the best thing we've gotten since Last Crusade, hands down.
I just hope that it ports well, because I got the Jedi Outlaw game, or the Star Wars Outlaw game for the Switch, and it glitches and it doesn't run as good. I mean, they made a version of it for the Switch too, but it doesn't run great.
Which I'm also kind of curious too, because apparently they fit this whole game onto the cartridge. So I'm kind of wondering how that's going to work.
Yeah.
I did buy a Nintendo Switch 2 just to be able to play this on that as well. Because then you could take it anywhere too.
Yep.
So I've played it on my phone, and as long as you have a good connection or good service, it doesn't play. It plays pretty well.
Right. That's good. Yeah, I mean, I played games a lot years back, and just started playing again now that I've gotten this thing, and I am having a lot of fun with it. I just finished replaying the Portal games, which I haven't played in years, but
I haven't played those in a long time, but I love those
so
too.
good.
Oh yeah,
They're so good. Yep.
That's awesome. Well, we have kept you longer than you're just like John Rhys-Davies. We thought you'd yell at us for 15 minutes and that would be it, but no.
Oh no, I mean I can.
Yeah, no. I mean we could definitely. We'd love to have you back. We could talk to you a lot. This shared passion, and we love your attitude towards everything. But how do people find you if they don't know already?
Facebook, Alex Arnold, but my biggest platform is Instagram right now. It kind of goes back and forth between Instagram and Facebook. It's really weird, but Instagram is _indie_guy, and then you'll find me there. YouTube is That Arnold Life. That's where I kind of put a mix of I do family videos too for all of our stuff. So that kind of has like a modge podge of a bunch of different things that I do. And then TikTok is the indie guy.
Go to Instagram and Facebook. He's got lots of cool
Instagram
content.
and Facebook are your best
Those
bets,
are the places. It's we love your passion. We love your positive attitude. We certainly thank you for the work you do aside from indie, because that's super important. And thank you for being in the trenches. Really, they are doing that, and it's been awesome talking to you.
I had a great time. Thank you guys so much.
All right, so that was our interview with Alex Arnold. Great dude, super fun to talk to a fellow collector, and that's something that the three of us have been talking more about, wanting to get more different collectors on the show to talk about what they're into and what they collect and what their passions are. So if you enjoyed that, let us know, because we're going to try to, bring on some more people in the coming weeks and months that are collectors of different things. And it's always good to get people that are into different things than what we're into, to hear their stories and how they got into what they're into.
If you know people that have really interesting collections, refer them to us. We'd love to talk to them.
Definitely.
And thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Fortune and glory.